guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about setting career goals for 2023 for medical coders and medical coding students. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, we are about to embark on 2023. 2023 is just days away now, and this, of course, always a time of year where people start to think about where they want to go in their lives. And sometimes they say things are going to be different in the new year, things are going to change in the new year. Okay, things can change in the new year. People can set goals. I don't like to say resolutions, because people would tend to kind of like January is a month to do that and then it falls off. Let's set some goals. Okay, let's get that good language going, right, that we can attain these goals. So this episode is about setting those goals and setting what will be successful goals for the long term, not just for the short term, not just for the 30 days or the 60 days that a resolution takes place, right? These are goals. This is something completely separate. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Now, when you're going to start these goals, when you're going to start to look at your career path, and if you are a medical coder already, if you are wanting to work in a different type of specialty, or if you are a medical coding student and you just want to learn what you can so that you can get out there and find your forever home in medical coding. And I've always said this too, that sometimes your first job is not going to be your forever home, wherever you are in medical coding. If you are a medical coding student, you're getting your first job out there after you get your certification. It's not always going to be your forever home. So don't think of that as, I need to make this X amount of money and I need to have this type of setting and this type of specialty and this type of, whatever, because this is going to be my forever home. It's typically not. I had two other places that I worked before I came to my forever home. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. But setting these goals, all right? So you're going to start out with a sheet of paper, guys, because we have to write things down. A lot of times people get overwhelmed thinking about things that it literally stops them in their tracks. They say, okay, no, this is too much and I can't do this. We got to stop that, right? Because we're setting goals. So you can write down 2023 goals and what do you want to accomplish. Now, it doesn't need to be big, grandiose goals. It needs to be things that are attainable, but there does need to be one on there that scares you. That's the whole thing, guys. One goal needs to scare you. And if it doesn't scare you, you're not setting your goals high enough. A lot of times people just want to do things that they can attain very easily so that, it's just instant gratification. Guys, in this career field, health information, this is not instant gratification. But what it does give you is a career's long enjoyment if you know how to do it. There's a lot of people that think, of course, that this is easy because that's what was sold to them. This easy, you can just push through whatever the provider is doing. We have to know what doctors know while never having gone to medical school. That is the thing that I have said that has been my my cadence since I started this channel and back in 2018, is that we have to know a vast amount of things to be successful medical coders. Okay, so look at your paper, write down your goals. What do you want to do? Is it that you want to go back to school? If you are a medical coder already and you're looking to advance in your career with a degree, okay, that's something that you can write down, that you want to go back to school. How are you going to do that? Of course, there's tons of things that you can do. There's lots of really good schools when it comes to degree planning and things like that. So if you are interested, of course, all of my recommendations are going to be in the description box below. But guys, when you're thinking about getting this degree, think about why you want the degree, right? If you want the degree because you want to advance in your career, you've been a medical coder, you understand what it is, so you know what getting a degree in this career field will do for you. Not because you want to sit there and make more money. That's going to come with time. But make sure that when you're investing to a degree, that it is because you understand what they do. Degree holders are our leaders. They are auditors. They are educators. If you are not interested in doing any of those things, do not waste your time with a degree. You would be better served trying to get more education to learn more about medical terminology, learn about your anatomy, your pathophysiology, even though you learned it in school. You can put that on your to-do list, on your goals list, to study that even more, so that when you read the documentation, it can get easier for you. And that's a goal even for my medical coding students, okay? If you're a medical coding student out there, guys, I cannot emphasize the importance of medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology enough. Because if you don't understand those things, if what is going on in this documentation doesn't make sense to you and you don't look it up, you're in the wrong. You are in the wrong, and there's a good chance that you're not going to be selecting the codes to their fullest and highest level of specificity. And that's a problem, because again, now you're affecting the doctor's pay, you're affecting the amount of money that the patients have to pay out. There's a whole big thing that goes into it. So make sure you educate yourself. So put that on your goals list, to study more on medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology. If you've been a medical coder and you say, hey, Blue, I want to move up and I want to get into a leadership position, then you go after that degree. You go after that degree, RHIT or RHIA. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, oh, they're phasing out the RHIT. RHIT is not going anywhere, guys. It's not. So just if you're continuing to do that, make sure that the program that you are in is approved through the Commission on Accreditation for Health Informatics and Information Management. Make sure, CAHIM. Make sure that it is approved. I will leave the link for CAHIM in the description box below. Now, if you are going to go through a degree program, make sure that that program is approved through them. Otherwise, you will not be able to sit for the RHIA, Registered Health Information Administrator. If you are pursuing the bachelor's degree, that's the designation you're going to get when you sit for that certification after you complete your program. Or the RHIT, that's the associates, the Registered Health Information Technician. Again, once you complete your associate's degree program in health information, that will be the one that you can sit for. Okay, so if that is on your goals list, go ahead and go write that down. And don't worry about how you're going to pay for it right now. Just write it down, because we need to see our goals in order for them to start taking root. Because if you really want to do something, you will find a way. There will be a way that you can get to whatever it is that you want to do. Whether it is that you have to start waiting tables, or you have to go do just odd and end jobs so that you can make money, so that you can pay for your education, or you can try to apply for scholarships, look for scholarship money. If your employer pays for education, that's something you can also look into. A lot of people don't take advantage of their employer's ability to be able to pay for education. And that's a shame, guys. You know, these employers need an educated workforce. And if you don't ask questions, get with your HR folks and say, you know, do we have any sort of tuition reimbursement? Is there any sort of program that I can get into? Do y'all offer scholarships? Anything, guys. A closed mouth does not get fed. That is what my Uncle Kyle says. So if you are interested in pursuing a degree, that is what you need to do. Now, if you are interested in pursuing medical coding as a career in 2023, you need to look at the amount of time that you are going to invest in studying. Now, before you tell me, Blue, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job. I have a spouse. I have kids. I have a dog. I have a cat. They all need me, and I can't do anything, so I only have a couple of hours a week to study. Okay, then this is probably not going to be for you if that's the approach you're going to take. So if you are interested in studying for medical billing and coding, and even if you have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job, guys, you can make the time. People will make the time for the things that they want to do in life. In medical coding, health information, you will make the time if this is something that you want to take seriously. Because if you are not taking it seriously, meaning that you are not studying enough, then this is going to be a waste of your time. It's going to be a waste of your time and your money if you're going to pay for a program. Well, I paid for this program and, you know, I'm only able to spend a couple of hours a week with it, you know, or they have their class on the weekend and that's what I study. And then the rest of the time, you know, I have to work and do all these things. I've done many videos about how to set up a study schedule when you have a busy lifestyle. Okay, guys, you can squirrel in 20 hours a week to study. Yes, you can. And before you tell me, oh no, I can't, Blue, look at me. Let's look at me for a second. I have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job. I do resume rewrites and professional coaching and tutoring. I also have a Patreon channel. There's a ton of other things that I do that I don't talk about on the channel. And yet, I manage to put in time every week to study. Is it 20 hours? Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's more, guys. But I do it because it's important to me. I do it because I have my goals that I've set, that I've written down, that I have, that I want. This is the things that I want to do. This is not a permanent situation. This is a right now situation in order to be able to get to my goals. Do I get a little tired? Of course, guys. Things that are worthy in our lives of getting are not going to come without some kind of sacrifice, guys. Okay? And so I do have to sacrifice a little bit of my time. I do have to sacrifice a little bit of my energy and things that I like to do, things that, I enjoy doing. I have to sacrifice those things for a little while. But you know what? It's worth it in the end when I'm able to reach my goals. That's what makes it worth it, guys. So this is what you want to do for 2023. You want to become a medical coder. You want to say, well, Blue, I want to go back to school because I want to change my life. I enrolled into this 4-month program. Wrong. If you say you enrolled in a 4-month program or 6-month program, you're going to need to count on making sure that you spend additional time studying. If you are in one of those programs that claim you can learn medical coding in 16 weeks and be on your way to a brand new career, you're going to have to study longer than that. It's too much information, and I don't care if you have a medical background, guys. It is a thing about medical coding that it is a completely different language. There's all these rules, and it's not just about knowing about the anatomy and medical terminology and all that good stuff, although that does help. It is about knowing how to read these documents and learning how these books work, because these books, they are going to give you a run for your money. If you don't understand how to work the simple fact of working through the book, the ICD-10-CM, CPT, Hicks, PICS, if you're working in the inpatient side or learning about the inpatient side, ICD-10 PCS, it's going to be very difficult for you. If your books are all tabbed up, if they're all written in and highlighted and marked up, again, you're setting yourself up, because while some people, yes, this is how they learn, these books are not workbooks. These books are all reference books. So you have to treat them like they are reference books, meaning that you don't have to put the training wheels on them, which is those tabs, because they're going to get in your way. And all that writing and highlighting and going on, doctors wrote these books. Scholars wrote these books. It doesn't need you to add anything to it. So that's the thing, guys. When you're setting your goals, let's set these goals and let's not add on additional things that we don't need to, like those tabs and all that other good stuff. Learn to use the book. So that could be on your list of goals, to learn to use the book, which is literally sitting down with each one of those books and opening them and flipping each and every single page. You don't have to read everything. But this says that you've gone through that entire book, so that it's going to familiarize you with where things are in the book, which is very critical when you are taking your test. Because when you're taking your test, those things are timed. You have to know how to navigate those books, guys. So again, that's another goal for your list for 2023. Learn to use your books. And this can go for my veteran coders too, because I know a lot of times veteran coders get sucked into using those encoders and they forget how to use their book. You can't do that, guys. You still have to work with the book. So with that said, add that to your list. Learn to use the book without the tabs, without the writing, without the highlighting, without that darn circling. Because if you are learning to use your book appropriately, you will not be confused about the parent code and the child code when it comes to the CPT manual. Guys, that's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life, but it's out there. It's out there, and guys, I'm here to tell you that it's unnecessary. When I went through medical coding school, having no background in medical at all, when I went through medical coding school, not once did I write anything, highlight, or tab my books. And I did this at a time where AHIMA was very strict with their with their books where they said, if when you come in, there cannot be any writing, no highlighting, no tabbing, because that's just the way that their association is. Now they do allow you to use the tabs that come with the book. So the CPT manual does have its own set of tabs that you can use. I have done a video where I'm demonstrating this, how to do it, because I said it's unnecessary, but if you want to do it, you may as well do it the right way. So I've done that, but again, I don't recommend it because a strong coder will know exactly where to go in that book. They will know the range. They will know if they're going to look in the index, where to go. If they're looking in the tabular section, where are they going to go? If they're going to look for the appendixes, where do they got to go in the appendix? The book is not going to be foreign to them. Okay, so it's something I'm going to strongly recommend that you all do. All right, plan to, if you are going to start in January for your medical coding program, plan to take your certification exam by September. That's 9 months, October area. Okay, because that's a good amount of time, even if your program is 6 months, or heaven forbid it's 4 months. Still plan on taking it around then, because that additional time is going to set you up for success. It's going to set you up for success because you're going to continue to work with those workbooks and do those exercises so that you can be fully prepared and ready when you go sit for your certification exam. And if you say, well, Blue, I've put myself in all of these Facebook medical coding groups, another thing that you need to get away from, because there's going to be a lot of negativity in those Facebook medical coding groups, because a lot of people have their own agendas in Facebook medical coding groups. I don't like Facebook for medical coding, although I do have one for the channel because you all asked for it and then didn't subscribe to it, but whatever. I'm going to go past that for a second here. Guys, listen to this. People who get into those Facebook medical coding groups are going to do two things. They're either going to encourage you to buy something from them, like buy a program or buy this or buy that, or they're going to discourage you because something happened to them that, they couldn't pass their test. They were trying to hurry up through the exam and they failed. And, now it's just, they want to tell everybody in the world that it's just a bad thing to get into. And then it doesn't take much for that seed of negativity to take root in somebody's mind that is just starting out and they're really already unsure. And then they hear from somebody else that's unsure. Again, guys, we need to be clear and focused on our goals. We need to get rid of that garbage, right? Because that's all it is. It's just a lot of negative garbage. Get rid of it. Okay, so on your goals list, that's another thing you can do. Add stay in my lane, which means that you're going to focus on your own goals. You're not going to sit here and announce to everybody, I'm going to be a medical coder and I'm going to be a medical biller and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You know why? Because there's going to be somebody out there who has no idea what our field is about, no idea what medical coders even do. And they're either going to try to discourage you or they're going to tell you a bunch of things that they have no idea what they're talking about. Again, we want to stay focused on our goals. That needs to be on your goals list, to stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, stay focused on your goals. Study hard. Make sure when you're adding to that goals list, that you add on there, I'm going to study for 20 hours per week. Now, I will leave the link for the video that I did about the study tips for busy people. Because guys, you can squirrel it in. If you're not able to make all those 20 hours in a week, it's okay, guys. It's not a reason to give up. It's okay if you fall one week and then you say, okay, I'm gonna pick it back up the next week, and you go and you do your 20 hours the next week. That is okay. Guys, it's okay. But don't try to cram all this stuff and I'm going to try to cram and cram and cram, because that's not the way we are designed. And we're going to just, your mind is going to be like, no, we're going to resist this. When you're setting yourself up to fail when you do that. So make it comfortable for yourself. You are human and you're not able to get to 20 hours in a week. That's okay. That means you're going to get back on it the following week. And you're going to pick it back up again until it becomes consistent. That is going to be the whole goal for this next year, is consistency. If you fall, it's okay. You're going to get right back up and you're going to keep moving and doing your goals. So make that goal list now, so that when you end up at the end of 2023 in December again, and you're looking back at all the things that you've accomplished, whether it is starting to go back to school for your degree, whether it is to go back to school even to just be a medical coder, or whether it is that you studied on your own with my independent study syllabus, right? Because it's out there, guys. And again, in the description box below. And you say that, well, yeah, I took my certification exam and I passed because I implemented all the things that somebody who loves medical coding has suggested. Studying 20 hours per week, taking it seriously, getting to know your books so that you can build that speed. Because that's where that speed comes from, is from knowing your books. People start fumbling around with their books because they don't know. They don't know them. They don't understand them. And then they're in that exam room trying to take their exam, and they're all over the place because they didn't develop that discipline. They didn't state their goals clearly. And that's why people end up failing, because they have all of that in their head. You have to get it off your mind, and you have to get it on paper where you can see it, where it's not going to be so overwhelming, so that you can look at your list and you can start checking off the box every single time that you've been studying for your 20 hours a week, that you've been brushing up your anatomy, your medical terminology, and your pathophysiology, and that you've been taking the time to get to know your books. Then you can start seeing that you're meeting those goals, and it's going to give you even more energy to continue on. Because guys, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is a marathon, and it's going to take some energy, sustained energy at that. So get your goals in line. Keep them to yourself. Don't sit here and announce to everybody. You don't need everybody to be coming in and attacking your goals. You need to concentrate on your goals and what you want to do, and see yourself where you want to be, and have one goal on there that scares you. Have one goal on there, even if it's small, but if it's scary, that's when you know you're setting your goals high enough. I'm just saying. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If this video helps you, I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.